Hey, third grade. All right, I have some kind of exciting, maybe I'm making nervous news. This week is a really exciting week. We are celebrating Earth Day on Wednesday, and Mrs. Lutz and I have a lot of great activities planned for you guys. So, sorry, we're going to kind of put our reading, writing, and math aside for that day. We might do like different reading, writing, and math, but we're going to really focus on Earth Day. What I also want to tell you is that this week is going to be our last week to make sure that we fill our slides with all of the information that we need. Next week, we're going to spend time editing, revising, adding pictures, adding all like the nice little details, capital letters, spelling, all of that. So this week is our last week for like really typing and adding all of our information. So by the end of this week, by Friday, if you have not finished all of your slides, they should be finished by the end of this week. So some of you are in a really good place. Some of you still have a place, some work to do, which is okay. If you might have noticed, the notes that you take during your reading time are the same notes that are going to really help guide your presentation. I have had some questions the last couple of days from some parents and also from some students asking like, how many slides am I supposed to have? Or what type of headings do I need to have? How do I organize my presentation? So Mrs. Lutz, Mrs. Allen, and I kind of talked about this, and we decided that you guys as third graders get to really take the lead on this and decide what your titles are going to be, what your headings are going to be, and also how many slides it's going to take for you to really portray and get across your talking points. So what I have found is that in about, I don't know, eight to 10 slides, you can do a really thorough job and show how much of an expert you are on your topic. You can't really do it in 4 slides. You don't need to do it in 20 slides, but I think around 8 to 10. Oops. If you guys are looking for a number, that's a good number to kind of be around. I think I started you guys off with like 5 or 6 slides. So you need to decide on your own what topics are important, what topics do you want to show off, right? You need to be able to teach your audience about this topic, and you need to figure out, what are those talking points, and that's where your subtopics come in. So for today, what I really want to focus on is actually writing, okay? The last time we met, we talked about writing with details and like really getting into the specifics of things, numbers, shapes, sizes, exact names, colors, quotes, right? So today we're going to talk more about text features, nonfiction text features, and how to grow our ideas. Okay. So it says growing your ideas, we can elaborate and expand our ideas. We can, here are some options. Okay. You can do all of these or some of them. We can label pictures, right? Take some photographs and add some labels there. We can write captions. On your slideshow, you guys, I added a lot of caption boxes there for you. You can also add your own. We did that our last lesson. I showed you guys how to do that, but we'll do it again today quickly. You can use vocabulary words, right? So this is a good time to kind of go back. And if you haven't used some keywords, make sure you're adding them in. You can add examples. If you're working on, tornadoes, what are some examples? Like, was there a famous tornado that you can highlight or spotlight? You can also include diagrams, right? If you are working on like thunderstorms, maybe a diagram of the water cycle would be really, really helpful here. Next is you can create sidebars. So sidebars are really cool. And you guys might have not even heard of that before, but you definitely have seen them in all of the books that you guys are reading. So sidebars is that part of text, like sometimes, especially in the National Geographic books, they have the jokes, like the theme jokes that go along with the topic. That's like a sidebar. Sometimes they have a separate story. We usually see a lot of sidebars in Scholastic articles where we have the main article and then there's like a little sidebar that's connected, but it's a separate story. So sidebars are really, really cool to add in because they can be funny, they can be jokes, they can be just an extra bit of information, they can be like fun fact bubbles, right? All of those kind of things, those are like sidebars, right? They're like extra parts of your presentation. So those are really fun to add. Today, I want to talk about vocabulary words. All right, I'm going to model that for you guys today. You don't have to only do vocabulary words. You can do any of the things that we just talked about in blue today. Okay, but I'm going to model some vocabulary words. So if you were looking at my slideshow, my table of contents I had here organized, right? And I worked last time to really, really add details, right? To add text to each slide. So I talked about what is a flood. I talked about why do floods happen. Talked about I have deadly floods. Why are they dangerous? Warning signs I didn't quite get to. I'm still working on this slide, but I know for me as a writer, I have the rest of this week to really finish this. So that's okay. I'm not working on, all of my slides are empty, but there's maybe one or two at this point in your writing that might be empty, and that's okay. Don't get nervous. Okay. Staying safe, right? I have ideas to how to stay safe. And then I'm still researching famous floods as well. So my glossary is empty, but I know when I look at my Post-its here, I did keep track of some words. So let's see here. I have dike. A dike is a wall made to prevent rivers or sea from flooding land. People hope dikes will keep the water away. And then I have monsoon season. When lots of rain and floods are expected, some places prepare for this by building houses on stilts. Okay, so I'm going to use this word dike. I think that's really important. And I like this sentence here. People hope the dikes will keep the water away. So these are like walls preventing rivers and seas from flooding. So when we talk about things preventing, I kind of think staying safe would be the right place to put it. So let's see. It says, when there is a risk of a flood, and this is my writing, the National Weather Service gives warnings. It is important to listen to what they have to say. You might need to evacuate or leave your area. Nothing there yet that kind of fits in that keyword. Let's keep going. You can make sandbag barriers around your house. That sounds like a dike, right? I can add here, this is also known as a dike. Dikes keep water out of an area, right? So now I can make sure that I added some key text here or keywords to my text. You're noticing that things get a little scrunched. So I can expand my text this way, but I can also, I'm going to highlight again. Okay. I can also just drop this down and change my font a little bit. I know a lot of you guys you can also type in a number if I feel like 14 is too small, so I'm going to type in 16. I know a lot of you guys, and in my class, we've had some issues with the spacing of text and sometimes the text getting small or big on its own and jumping around. The main thing when that happens is just finish your typing, get your ideas out, and then you can always go back, click into the text box, and then mess with the size and all of that and the spacing. You can drag these little squares around. But if you get your typing there first, you'll be good to go. So today, your job is to grow your ideas by elaborating and expanding. Go to a part of your slideshow that you've already worked on and think about how you can grow it. What can you add there? So today I added vocabulary words to one of my slides because I didn't use that vocabulary word yet. You guys might have your vocabulary words and maybe you're really excited to try out those sidebars, right? So today your challenge is to add one of these things to your slideshow today. And remember, our goal by the end of the week is to have text on all of our slides because we'll be focusing on just editing and revising going into next week. Good luck, guys. Keep working hard.